Okay, welcome. So, have you seen this video?
You don't kill him, you don't kill him, you don't kill him, you don't kill him now. You don't kill him, you don't kill him. Everybody they stand, nobody. Jam. You don't remember. Jam. You don't run.
So you see the boy is sort of, he's collapsed and then he's stroking. He's stroking, and all of them are standing there. Even the boy doing the thing is just pushing him. They don't know, they have no idea of what to do. See, they are still videoing. The one video is still videoing. The other guys are still standing there. They are all confused. They don't know what to do. And the boy is like, but he's not there. But none of them have any idea of what to do. See, start with that one. So Black, I'm starting with you. Should I start with Hadia today?
Ladies first.
Ladies first. Hadia, let me start with you. Okay, now, this is an issue of indiscipline among children. What do you think is causing this thing? Children being indisciplined, very indisciplined nowadays. Is it from the homes, from the schools, from the society, or from themselves, or from social media? Because they are doing this thing clearly, and they are taking videos of it. You could see the whole class is cleared, so it could look like a fixed match.
Yeah.
And they are watching. Hadia.
What's causing it? I can't say. I don't know if I can tell exactly what is causing it, but you said this is a Nigerian setting. It's not Ghana.
But generally it's happening. In Ghana last year, with 4 and a disco boy used his genius head to hit a metal bed, and it was swollen immediately. So it's happening.
Something,
but where are the teachers? Where are the teachers? And how did the phones get there? Maybe it's a boarding house after school hours. They have phones. Was it a fight, or it's a senior that is bullying a junior? I don't know, but if I know Ghana, like now we don't beat children, so I think we've seen these kind of things become a little more on the increase since we started to enforce that. But if it's another setting in Nigeria, is it what we see on social media? Is it just that humanly we don't feel for each other anymore? Because it's a little bit difficult to watch. Like you just lift your friend and throw him down. It's not stand. It's a paved ground also. And there are girls there. You feel that girls will not subscribe. And the annoying part, or the serious part, is that there are a lot of people watching, and it's funny. It's funny. It's not even a fair fight. One was just lifted and thrown to the floor, and even if it was not what was planned, at least at that point when you're thrown to the floor, you feel that somebody, you say, oh, maybe you've gone too far. But there seems to be nothing. As for me, I'm taken aback. This is the first time I'm watching it. I'm taken aback a little. I can't really tell. I can't tell.
So look,
it's not something for me. I'm not shocked, no surprise. At what I've seen, because I mean I've watched several videos of
similar things.
I mean, let's not forget that a similar thing transpired at Accra, I think last year, where a senior was physically abusing
a junior,
and also let me say more detrimental thing, or probably same thing also, or maybe more detrimental act also happened at, I think, Rally. That led to the demise of
more.
So
yes.
So I think for me, I mean, these things, do not seem surprising to me. But then if you ask, very critical questions, are rules not being guided? It's like, don't we have rules and regulations guiding this particular institution? And also, how did the student, how were they able to find themselves, or how were they able to bring schools
to school?
Exactly. So Hadia was saying that probably it could be a boarding house. However,
does it really matter?
If it's 4 hours, what were they doing?
Hey,
so is it
that's what I'm saying,
that he's being bullied by a senior? Is it that they're just playing?
I'm also asking the question with a phone based in saying that back in the days when we were in the boarding house, I mean, there was a routine check. More or less like once in a while, you have any house master can come and check at any time. Like more or less like it is more or less like I don't know how to put it. Unexpected. Yeah, unexpected. It will just come and check. But for us to see, similar acts transpiring over the years.
And it's also difficult for you to see this in a boarding house, I think.
Exactly.
So unless maybe your standards are falling so low.
Unless maybe these students are day students.
Yes, because if it's a senior punishing, you can't be around.
No, I think these are colleagues fighting.
Yes,
they are mates.
fighting.
When I was in school, I'll bring you again. When I was in school, Accra Academy, again.
Your alma mater.
You see, even these students were searched to be sure we are not having phones.
Yes.
Because it was prohibited for you to bring phones to school. So, in fact, the minute they see the shape of something like a phone in your pocket, you are in trouble. You either sign a bond or you have an internal suspension immediately. There are times they seize the phones and they never get it again. So, and it did not standards falling. Okay,
yes, once standards are falling. And also, standards are falling in school and also at school. Because I believe that, as a parent or as a school, let me take it up the home and I'll come to the school.
Okay.
Because, I mean, they leave home for school. So, at this stage, in our previous podcast, when we were talking about, the child seeing these things from that very early age, it's also what, metamorphosed to that particular, mid-adolescent age. Because now they are used to phones. They are used to gadgets and they see a lot on the net. So they feel like, I mean, if other people are also doing it, if our peers in other areas and our peers in other schools are doing it, why can't you also do it? But then you ask yourself that, I believe that this particular incident transpired after school hours.
After school hours, yes.
So then you ask yourself that after school hours, did the teachers leave those students behind? Right?
And which kind of place?
I don't know how to put it, but then you ask yourself that, what does the school rule or what the school rule say about after school hours? That the teacher will just leave the class for students to come back or for students to remain, or probably was it a premeditated thing?
That's what I'm saying. This one looks like it's like a fixed fight. There's no desk in the classroom. So the classroom is empty. So and then there are students there videoing the thing. Everyone having on all corners videoing. So more or less like a plan thing.
So as we are saying, standards are falling. Because these days the youth or the teenagers have access to so many gadgets. But then you have to look at what could cause or what really caused this fight to extend that one will lift the other and then slam him like what is like a wrestling bout. One will lift the other and then slam him on the ground. Not even a smooth, but quite rough surface.
We want a lot of WrestleMania.
So, like I said, there are so many influential factors that are leading to this, and I think that one, the standards in our home are falling. Two, the standards in our school have drastically fallen. I have witnessed
the standards in terms of discipline.
Because you dare not discipline someone probably at the teachers level, at the primary level, even at the secondary school. They are parents to become the next day, the parents will come attacking the teachers or will come attacking the school. I get my point. So I think that those who are managing the school or those who are in charge, because when I don't know what became of those who did. I'm talking about the one that transpired in O'Reilly. The students who perpetrated that crime.
We don't hear that issue.
And also the one that transpired at Accra. Okay, for that one, the students were expelled. I don't know whether they were expelled or whether they were suspended temporarily. I don't know what became of the final punishment that was meted out to the students. So it is something that as we're saying, it is more or less it has become a continental thing. It has become a continental thing, and once the standards are falling, and don't forget that these things do not only transpire in schools, they also transpire in our communities. Because in our communities, each and every day, or every blessed day, or probably if not a day, or probably days interval, we see the teenagers, we see the very young youth fighting among themselves, probably maybe from one area to the other. Yeah, so I think that it is something that has been transpiring for years, and I think that the earlier we bring some very stringent measures to it,
Back in the time, when you look at these youngsters, back in the time, when you even speaking to an elderly person, you need to sort of give some kind of reverence. You're a bit shy and all that. But now they can speak to anyone the way they want, ask the way they want. If in the presence of, you mentioned the Orally case.
Yeah.
They said the teachers were around whilst the students fought, and they didn't do anything.
Yeah.
And even at the point, I'm not there, but I'm just speaking on the information gathered from. Even when the students were stabbed with the scissors, no teacher even got up to pick the students. It was the students themselves who picked the boy that had been stabbed to the hospital. Hopefully, the boy died. Yeah. So is it that, like you said, is it from the homes that the children have become so indisciplined? Because at times we assume, and I'll bring Hadia in, at times we assume that when you send a child to school, that's a point where the child will be disciplined. Now, I happen to have taught a girl back in the day. And then she had an attitude. Yeah. At times she goes, she doesn't come home and all that. And then the mother wanted her to go to the boarding school after JHS. And I told the mother that, hey, madam, this girl is someone you should keep by you and keep on training. He said, oh no, the boarding schools are more disciplined. You take it, the teachers can discipline the child well for you. No, the child is indisciplined in the house. She got to the school first year, she was pregnant.
Can you imagine?
Whose fault is it? Can you blame the teachers? Do you blame the home? Which particular institution in society is mainly or highly responsible for this discipline among these children?
I think we are all collectively responsible. As you said, there's somebody you think you can leave your child in the hands of somebody else to discipline. No. You'd have to start yourself before you send that person out, because whatever that person is made of is what she's sending to whichever community you're sending her to. So if that boarding house doesn't have somebody like that, then she'll be the first coming. There are some coming also that pick what their peers do a lot. So that peer pressure, it would make that be transferred to somebody else. That's how it starts growing. So there's no way that boarding house or that school is the only unit that will be able to discipline that child. No, you should be able to know your child. And better still, when you're bringing the child, at least point out what the authorities need to look out for in that child. Because you know what, but it's as if we protect the child. The person shouldn't know the wrong. No, you are helping shape the child. And if you don't tell the next person what to look out for, it might take some time for that person to even realize. That's even if they realize, if the child is not able to hide it. And on all that time, the child may be exhibiting it. You don't know how far it may go. So the home cannot be left out. But the schools, regardless of it, before time, there was always a chance that no matter how stubborn the child is, you send the child to school and the authorities know this is who you've brought, they can help shape the child. There's always been that thing. So at times, there are times that a child can do something at home and you see the parents drive the children to school for them to be beaten there. It's as if they fear that place when you get there, yes, if you were not listening to me at home, at least the school. But now the school, well, for Ghana, as I'll say, the corporal punishment is not allowed. And we can't even, you see the corporal punishment, at times it feels to me as if it's a little bit too severe. But when a child can do something, it's that he should be beaten so that he doesn't do it again. And that one, we say we can't do it because people have taken advantage of it, gone too far. Oh, there was a time that was okay. Yeah. You never went too far. It straightened you. You won't do it again. But once the talk about don't punish the child, people are going too far. Then people actually started going too far. Then it was as if, okay, then don't do it at all. It's spare the road and spoil the child. Exactly. We have spoiled our children. And we ourselves have lost sight of what is important. As we said before, we were speaking about the boy child. Well, we said, I mentioned that our mind is not even there anymore because we are thinking our bread and butter issues. We've lost sight of what is important. And in the end, it will go back and come and bite us. Exactly. How can children gather together and what is the fact? You didn't gather to find some food to eat. You didn't gather to
even discuss the next topic.
You gather to fight.
Yeah.
You gather and you're laughing fighting and somebody's throwing somebody down, and you didn't, even if you intentionally put the fight together, you didn't even have a moment of remorse
to even move towards the person, and they were just there like that.
And they are elderly, like at that age, you should learn some signs to be able to know that that person at the point you've left him, there's something happening. The
person was unconscious.
But yes, he's obviously stroking, and
they're
old enough to know there was something happening. At least, however, to know that they've gone a little bit too far. Somebody comes, laughs, tries to lift one hand, it drops,
and then she's there, and the rest remain unconcerned.
And the video with even a loud bass, you can see it's also a big boy or something, and he's also just giving commentary. Hey, it gives chills. Like,
give chills. So look.
Yeah, Charlie. Spare the road and
chills. Yeah.
And it reminds me of my alma mater motto. Train up the child the way he should grow, and when he grows, he will not depart from it. I don't know whether this verse is still being more or less like imbibing the youth, and it's as if you see the home has lost it. Yeah. You see,
it's mainly from the home.
You see, education starts right from the home.
Primary socialization.
Exactly. So the primary socialization starts from the home, right? Charity begins at home. Everything begins at home, right? The school is just an added on, or more or less like a top up, right? Back in the days, thank God that I had part of my upbringing in the barracks.
Discipline.
I tell you.
And that's
one thing too, because there are
officers who can
these things in the schools as well, for children to learn this, a little bit of military, a little of service.
A lot of training. I didn't go to
the barrack school, but even just within the confines of the barracks, right? A junior officer can even discipline a senior officer's child. And nothing. The only thing is that unless maybe it is an extreme punishment where maybe the junior officer will be asked that, okay, so what happened, blah, blah. But anyway, with that one, your father will even send you home, even give you top up. Yeah.
It's not easy.
Yes.
I think yes, okay.
You see, these days, we are looking at culture. So we want to learn from the West. Do not touch my child. So the parents themselves don't even discipline their word at all.
Yeah, in fact, that was even my next question. I wanted to ask that: Are we letting go of our culture or our way of life in the right way? We can modify. No one takes that away. Everyone can modify. But does it mean should we throw our culture, should we throw our identity away and then pick someone else's identity, and then we don't even know how we don't ground children here.
And you see,
but in their countries, when you do a wrong thing and your father says you are grounded, the children understand the language of you being grounded.
Yes.
So they stay inside, or the things they've been prohibited from doing,
exactly.
They stay away from it.
Exactly.
Because they know it leads to an extension of being grounded.
Exactly.
But it's all us here. You are grounded, don't watch television. Someone that kind of, what do you think you are doing? We are happy.
We are not motivated to do the West.
We'll do the same. You see, I'm grounded, no.
But you see, until where you are giving some physical punishment, that is where you become steady.
That's how we
exactly. So the children themselves are not being disciplined at home. The mother will say, "Oh, coffee, stop that." The father will, "Hey, yes, I'm a bull." So it's like it is always a verbal one. It is always a verbal one. So they feel like once my dad is not beating me, once my mother is not beating me, why you do that? So the children will come home and then report exactly what the teacher did. The next day,
the mother is there.
Exactly. So in this case, just like what transpired as right, the teachers felt nonchalant. Remain unconcerned. So now that your word is gone, can you come and blame us? No. So you see, these children, have been given much freedom at home. So when they come to school, they expect same freedom to be given to them. So sometimes students themselves don't even report other students yet because they feel like they can take the law into their hands. So let's do it. So after school, I've had a similar situation where a parent called me because his son was brutally beaten at Karikari Park. So it was more or less like a fixed match. There's something that more or less like the thing happened on Monday, and then the other guy dared the other that if your man meets me at Karikari after school hours on Friday. And the other guy also accepted the challenge. Yes. And the one that accepted the challenge was told where power lies. Was brutally beaten. So for me, they lost at home. And until the situation where you see, like I also keep saying that, it is only from the home. Even the educational curriculum has also been, changed the way. Yes, because at a point, a particular government nearly,
brought in the
NPP, that's the last recent election. They
broke down sex, whatever. Right, until they receive a backlash.
And then they held it.
So you see, it is a whole, there are so many negative
There's this issue of back in the time to everyone, you could be disciplined by everyone.
Exactly.
See, if you step out and your dressing is bad, everyone around you start shouting.
But
if you make a mistake, everyone will.
In our current time,
we are in a time where someone's child is doing something. Hey, or should I go and be someone's child for something? So everyone just lets everything go.
I also believe that in as much as society is advancing, our thinking and our sense of logic must also be upgraded. Right? So we are advancing. Some of our practices, some of our actions must also be advanced, and it should be done in the same manner. Because as if it's as if
we are leaving everything behind. So, and then we just go and pick it like that.
So it's as if society has become, pardon my word, a powerful society where there is so much, irrational practices.
In fact, from what you're saying, let's take a look at this video. From the line you are using now, let's take a look at this video. I believe yesterday everyone saw this video online. But we can't really show the content clearly online because of restrictions. Because if you look at it, the boy has restricted and he's been beaten, and then people are videoing it. Now, this thing you're saying now is something that is happening.
Yeah.
It's something that is happening. Just that today it's been video. And see, they've tied the boy's wrist, which is actually the passage of blood that could lead to collapse. And then you beat him, and then you smear pepper or whatever you have on him. And you could see there are video. There's a camera with this camera. There's another camera there. It's so difficult.
And on the sexual organ.
And even on the sexual organ, you can't even watch. It's so difficult. It's so difficult to watch.
That one's feature where it's been denied.
Good. Now, see what is happening. See, and they are there. See, there's another guy bringing the camera. There's one row. There's another guy bringing the camera. You see now. At least we watched it to a point. Now, you made mention of a point that we are not advancing with society.
Exactly.
But then at times you go back and just pick the thing and bring it like that. Now these things are really happening. Today someone has videoed, we've seen it. But there are lots more that we are not seeing. But the question again is that, is it that the children are indisciplined? The ones that try to discipline them, most are going overboard. And the ones that are not disciplining them are also folding their arms. So there's an issue, there's a vacuum somewhere in the middle where parents find it difficult to feel. Do we need some kind of education to, because if you don't discipline them, it's a problem. And if you discipline them too much, it's also another problem. So is it the way and manner the children need to be disciplined? That's where parents are lacking. That's where teachers are lacking. That's where the society is lacking. Because the government just comes in and say, ban or corporal punishment, ban it all, caning and everything. Without even say, okay, let's modify it. If you want to cane the child on the legs or in the palm. Don't cane on the back. And then you can't even cane a child about 10 strokes at the time. Like, more or less like some rules. We should also be brought into the homes. But you just come in, cancel this, and that's it. You come in, cancel this. A parent sees a child doing this, and this is what the child goes through. And then this is out there, video. This child will grow up and will never forget this thing. Actually, let me bring you in first. I'll bring say that because you are making up when you continue with them, I'll bring a journey.
Right. You see, society is made up of so many organizations or so many bodies. And in my wisdom, I am of the view that the various bodies should come to an agreement, and then.
Anyway, the video we just watched, they said the guy, the old man, and the man who whipped the boy have been picked up by the police.
Exactly, that's good.
Okay, say something.
So, they must come to a consensus. Okay, so this should be the laid out national I don't know if I can say national, more or less like punitive measures. So in schools, if a child misbehaves, you shouldn't give him beyond a certain stroke. Maybe minimum can be 4, maximum can be 5.
And even a pass too.
And if with a part of the body, you must be very cautious. You must be very careful. Maybe you can't maybe cane the back.
But the head.
The head.
Right. Everyone was in school.
The
teacher came.
We all went through that.
I had
we all went through that. We all went through that. And sometimes your back put you on the table. You can give up 5. Can you imagine giving for something that really innocent you, but you want to complain. So part of the body, I mean, there must be restrictions.
Okay.
Maybe the butt, right? Maybe a part of the leg. But even that one, you must be very careful with the energy that you exert on that part of the body. So all these things, but if, like I said, if a government will come in and say that this kind of punishment should be abolished, or just to win power, then we are not making headway. And also, there shouldn't be a situation where a child will be infatuated. I think this against fundamental human rights.
It's serious.
It's serious. So I mean, for you to be, you can punish him, but not tying a child.
Tie the child at the wrist.
What if
with nylon?
What if in the process he dies? Right. So I think that let's like I said, you see, let's try and do things in our own wisdom. Let's be logical about certain things. Let's not be too over emotional about certain things because the child has committed a crime. I mean, we've all been there before. Once you have a child too, you don't expect a child to always do good things. Once in a while, the child will misbehave because we are not misbehaving.
It's part of growth.
Even as elderly people, we sometimes misbehave.
If you have a child and then the child never misbehaves, and you know that you have a pretender.
Exactly.
You know you have a bomb that will blast in your face. Exactly.
So sometimes you must trigger the child.
Yes.
For
when the child behaves in the child's natural way, it's good for you as parents.
Exactly. For you to know how he is or how she, so that you also want to move along with him or her.
Man, the child pretends.
You are doomed.
You are doomed. You seen a video. I realized you couldn't watch. In fact, this morning it's been streamed on so many platforms, so many people can watch. One of the guys who streamed it first, Kobichi News, that guy is a very good blogger. His account on Instagram has been suspended because he is one of the few who showed it this way. In fact, he's championing a cause, Boys Life Matter. So Boys Life Matter. So when he saw this, he just posted it like that. Instead of probably writing viewer discretion and all that, he just
viewer discretion is advised.
He was emotional about it and he couldn't hold it, so he just posted. So in fact, last night I kept on looking for his account on Instagram. I couldn't find it. I only saw his pictures and stuff on other people's platforms, but I didn't see his account. Okay. It was just this morning that I realized it's been blocked. So I couldn't even watch it because of the manner
in which the guy was,
the boy was punished. And he's hanging. The boy is hanging. You could see he's suffering. So he comes back to lean on the wall at points in time.
He was swinging.
He was swinging. Adia.
He was swinging. He was tied with nylon.
Yeah.
So that one there, even elastic band, when you put it on your hand, just a few moments,
when you move
and then it can't. This thing can't hold because it's slippery. So for them to tie it for you to be able to be there, you can imagine the
pain.
And he stole what, 200 Ghana. He stole it for sure that one day. Stole it for sure, 200 Ghana, but it's just 200 Ghana. But it might have been somebody's hard-earned money. So maybe the effect of that is the pain the person is feeling in his pocket. That's one. Economically, let's make things better. Let's all feel some ease in our pockets. Let the effect of people's work reflect in their pockets, like so that we can take things slightly, so that we can have some human dignity. Because I heard them talking about even the trotros that we pick. You see, you dress and you are going to work, or you dress and you are going on, and the car you enter, it's not dignified. The trotro, you can see the bottom of the floor, the road in the, and you see yourself, you are dressed. Just because you don't have a private car doesn't mean you can't pick. But that car is not dignifying enough. But that's what you have to pick. But that, can we make our lives better? Because who are we suffering for? That is one. This 200 Ghana, it's money, but it's not anything to to make this boy, his whole life is going to be a mess. Now we speak of the government, we speak of associations. You see, somebody sits at government, either Ministry of Education, and puts up that rule. You said they didn't try to modify, like saying, beat their back, beat their hands. You just cancel it altogether. All these people are coming from home, so that we've elected them and they've gotten to the high pedestal and they are making rules for us. We've left out paying attention to detail. Because if you paid attention to detail, you knew that this rule or this law that you're bringing down would surely have repercussions. People sit on boards. There are associations that come to sit. None of them could speak on the fact that corporal punishment is not good, but then there should be some kind of discipline with the rod somehow to benefit the child, and we cancelled it totally. And for 8 years, we saw it going bad, and we still allowed it to just keep on flowing. People spoke of comprehensive sexual education. We said, "Oh, it wasn't anything. It was yet to be rolled out. It wasn't rolled out." We make light of things that could destroy the future of the generations that we are building, and it's taking life like that, and we leave it. We have coalitions, we have associations that, we go on strike for various things that we want at one point in time, but we couldn't ever stand up to this. For 8 years, a lot has been destroyed. The first one wasn't Ghana, but this is Ghana. Somebody will say this is northern region. Somebody will say maybe it's in a place far from civilization. But there are schools there. Western North. Okay. You see
the not far from there are mobile phones there. So since they are mobile phones,
but they have phones. They have phones. They are engaged in social media. And at least, even though it is bad that this small boy was videoed, but it was the same video that somebody was able to push to, is it police service or somebody, and it got there that this boy could. Well, it has happened already. Exactly. But at least the people will be brought to book. You see, we should know how to use the internet.
So you're even saying that if this incident wasn't videoed, we wouldn't be speaking about it now.
Exactly.
Well, if it wasn't videoed, it might not come. By the time it will come out, the effect.
So there are a lot of people going through this. Yes.
Now you're seeing it for what it is. Yes. So you don't need anybody, any further investigations that would run for years. And yes, it's enough evidence so the police will know what to do. What if it was not said? So even we should know how to use social media, we should know how to use the internet. But at least, apart from the internet, let us go back and pick back that value. If you see something, say something. If you see something going wrong, say it. Yeah. And if you say it and the person beside you tries to shout you, have let the person educate the person that is not how it should go.
Exactly.
At least that is you see, at times they can shame you for something good that you were saying, but let's say it anyways, because we don't live for ourselves, we live for one another. That is the only way that at the day that you die, you may not have left anything substantial, but if you live to care for others, that is enough for you to go with. There was a saying that one man said that in 100 years you will not be remembered for the houses you built, the cars you built, but the lives you touch, you would live there. If you correct something for the lives you touch, you will be happy you did something. You might not move. You might not move the whole stumble block, but you might push it a little. Somebody else by your voice will be able to push it further. It might take days or two, but as you do it, as you shine that light, other people are able to shine their lights too. We all see it. Then we cringe and we just keep quiet. But the more we speak, the more other people's. There is no other way that we can correct how far we've dropped from where we were. Apart from the fact that we begin to pick these little things, we can't get back. There's no government that's going to sit at the top and try to make another law for us. No, we must determine the good for ourselves. If you consider yourself that you have dignity for yourself, you want to be treated with respect. You treat the second person with respect. You treat the second person with care. You cannot just close your eye that this does not concern me, so let me look the other way. For how long? And you go on your knees and you pray to God that your situation should be better. God uses people to bless others. God uses us to bless others. How did we get to this point? It's as if he needed to go, if this will not kill him, or he's not supposed to be dead, I don't know, but if this will not kill him, then the pain should, or the beating should. So you've tied him, he's suffering. I don't know for how long he's been tied. You've beaten him. You've now come to stir the sauce on top with the pepper. And that's an elderly man. Like the man who brought the pepper is the older one. is the older one. The person who beats you can
That's
say,
an
okay,
treatment.
but the person who was able to tie the boy like this,
That guy's a
where
macho
is
man.
the mother? Where is the father? Even if the mother and the father is not there, doesn't have siblings. He doesn't have any family member that's close enough to feel the pain. That is a 200 Ghana. So the fact that is it that we've seen the wrong too much that right now it has gotten to us. We are so
Yes.
vengeance. So
You see that,
but we've wronged ourselves as
that is what I brought in from what Sebla said. It's gone too far
Yes.
that we don't really know how to bring ourselves back to the way we are. So we see things like this, and then we give the children so much that it's beyond.
so much at once.
It's beyond what they can comprehend,
Exactly.
and this will not help the child.
And never.
It only creates animosity.
And the child should
It
not be
creates
blamed
anger.
for that certain
Public
thing,
shame.
because the children
Public
is
shame.
created for the adults to take
You
care
understand
of.
me?
Shame.
How do we speak to our children? Do we
Forever.
counsel our children?
Forever trauma.
Our children are our friends. Do we bring them close to us?
Exactly.
Or we only do high? The only thing we are interested in is going and bringing money home. When our child comes home, the child cannot even tell us and have a nice conversation with us.
So what transpired in school?
What transpired in school? Nothing. We don't have conversations with them. We shut them up. When they say something, we just shut them and keep quiet.
Don't say
When
that.
so you see, we push them away.
There's no proper bonding.
We force them to actually make things of themselves, and then when they make huge mistakes like this, this is how we treat them.
And also, as Hajia said, he was speaking about, he was speaking about the Ministry of Education, and also, and also want to bring in the gender ministry, because they work hand in hand. So, what is the gender ministry? I don't know. I don't know whether they've said it, but should they say this? I also want to, get to, read or hear something sensitive or something, reasonable from, from a particular ministry.
My final question is that should we always see something like this before we act? Why are we not? See, we are in a society where education is sort of, if you're not in the classroom, we can't educate you on anything. That's quotes in quotes.
But I'm saying this because in the past, I mean, we've seen a lot of.
Yes, no, but
I think for once they must take a drastic action.
Exactly.
That's
So
what I'm hoping to
that's
see.
what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That with the organizations you are mentioning, should they only come in? Civil we have civic rights education and all that, right? Should they only come in when there's an issue? Shouldn't there be laid down plans to even educate parents on India? We all watch television. You could be educated. If a child does something, how you should go about it. Educate parents. Let parents know how to even bond with their children. How to make their children know that, hey, when you're speaking to an elder, you don't say this and that and that. For the child to even understand and even make fun of it, that, okay, I've understood. Instead of everything, probably slapping, knocking, whatever. So until it gets to a particular, if you don't really beat the child, this child probably have been beaten several times. So they realize that since the beating is not really getting to him, they decided to do this to him.
And you see, you were speaking about.
I'm coming up. He's been beaten several times. So since it's not getting to him, they did this to him.
Exactly.
Now, when there's a child where you speak to most of the time, and then the child happens to be like more or less like a partner, a friend.
Yeah.
And then the child does something that is so wrong, like what this was like, and you pinch him, just a pinch.
Yeah.
It will pain him. It will something that the child will feel, and then hope she wouldn't find herself in that position again. But when you beat the child each and every time, and then the child gets
Used to it.
that is when at times you are forced to do this. When you feel, well, if she's used to the belt,
So you give
he's used to the
a higher punishment.
keep on increasing the punishment. Personally, I think that's one reason.
But that